What's going on, everybody? What is happening today? This is Doc Ease, Rashard Ease, Hip Hop Forester, Southern Black Gentleman. I got too many freaking titles. But I'm just going to stop right there. I'm just going to leave it alone because today I'm not important. It's not about me. It's about my brother. It's about my partner in this rhyming. He representing first himself. I want to say that first himself because he represents that beautifully. And then he has graciously offered to even represent the branch on the West Coast. And I really do appreciate him because I don't deserve that. But I appreciate his love and his support. And we are doing some work together. The man dropped a single last year called Old Heads. He got another song coming out soon, Fast Lane. He got another song on his next record dropping on the 29th, and we'll get into that, called All the Smoke featuring me. But right now, I'm talking to none other than Mista Doesha. What's up, baby?
What up, man? How you feeling? How you feeling?
Well, I feel good representing the old head, thump you in your forehead. I feel good, man. I feel good rocking this shirt, man.
You look good, blue player. Look real good on you.
Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that so much, man. How you doing today? I can't say this evening because I'm on the East Coast. It's evening, but it's afternoon. How you doing today?
Man, yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good, man. I'm just, the way things is moving with the branch, man. I'm just excited, bro. I'm excited.
You definitely have blessed me, and I appreciate you, joining up, as you did, or really I should say opening up. I wouldn't say joining, because you stand on your own too as well. But I really do appreciate you because you making moves and fast moves. And I think that when we learn a little bit more about your history, people will understand why you're making fast moves. So do me a favor, my brother. Tell the people, it's the typical, but, please tell us where you from, man. And tell us about where you're from. Like, why is that significant too?
Okay. Well, I'm born and raised in Lynwood, California. It's in between Compton and Watts, down the street from Long Beach. A lot of people don't know about the little city called Lynwood because it's in between Compton and Watts. So, you know what I'm saying? We don't really get our shine. We got one celebrity out of Lynwood, and that's Weird Al Yankovic. That's it. But, I take that back. So we got him and one of the presidents lived in Lynwood back in the day or whatever. But anyway, we don't really have any significant superstars out of there. Why are you looking all surprised?
I know Weird Al was from Lynwood.
Yeah, actually his mom, before she passed, lived right around the corner from where I grew up. He went to Lynwood High, Hostel. He went to everything in Lynwood that I did, he did. So,
Eat it, Weird Al.
Yes, sir. He got an album called Straight Outta Lynwood.
I thought he was kidding.
Nah,
he that album,
bro. Straight Outta Lynwood. He had the Lynwood hat, the thing. He had that song White Nerdy was on there, but nah,
yes.
Yeah, Weird Al from Lynwood, bro.
Okay, Weird Al, I got to give respect because I thought that was a joke.
He's straight out of Lynwood. He is Lynwood, yeah.
I just got educated, y'all, and corrected. Okay, all right, okay, so here we go. Okay, so then Lynwood's third celebrity coming out, Mista Doesha. Okay, here we go. Please continue.
Yeah, so growing up there, and growing up in the era where hip hop first started, so we were, of course, had the Sugar Hill Games first commercialized, rappers, but we had our local MCs and stuff in LA. So my older brother, Jimmy, rest in peace, was a DJ at the time. He started DJing first. And then he was in a group called PG-13. He was a DJ for this local group called PG-13. And then he started rapping after that. And then, him being my older brother, it's like, if he can do it, I can do it. Yeah. So he was like, all right, what you want to do? You come up with a name and then, write a rap and then we go from there. Because then he had friends that rapped also. They had like little, local groups or whatever. So did that or whatever. He was like, that's not going to fly. You need to work harder. So this was in 88, right?
88, okay.
I was a teen. I was 13, 14 then. Okay. So around 90, 91 or whatever, when he heavily got into being a rapper, he came to me. I came to him, whatever, and, wrote this little rap, spit it to him. He was like, okay, you got that wordplay, but we're going to have to work on your, getting your lyrics and your flow together, whatever. So then he started, it's like, well, let me get you a name. What name you had? So the name I came up with at the time was MC Skittle. The reason why, laugh. The reason why I came up with that name is because that was my favorite candy at the time, right? Yeah.
Right.
Behind everything. So he was like, And now around the neighborhood, a lot of my close friends called me Kid. So he just started calling me Kiddo.
Kiddo.
So that was my rap name at the time, was Kiddo. I went by that, started doing talent shows locally. I won a talent show at my high school 2 years running. And, you know, so of course in LA with everything else going on, the music kind of got put on the back burner. You know, it's a little street life going on, you know, around the neighborhood or whatnot in ourselves. So come 94, 93, 94, we kind of separated ourselves from that and started focusing more on the music, right? So we had an opportunity to sign a record deal in 94. At that time, he was living in Watts, and I was living in another part of LA with my parents. So the initial plan was we were supposed to go see the record execs that Monday. We was going to see my sister that weekend. Leave from her spot that Monday morning, drive down to downtown LA, talk to them, work out the ins and outs and do the thing. Unfortunately, that Sunday night is the night he passed away, or that morning. He passed away, murdered. So at that point, I was like, I'm done with music. If I can't do it with my brothers or with my influence, if I can't do it with him, then I don't want to do it at all.
Understand.
And a funny part about me in the music thing is, again, like I said, started out with Sugar Hill. Everybody else started coming up. But the thing that kind of got us open into hip hop was LL for one, Run DMC.
Run DMC.
Big Daddy Kane was like, and it was the lyrics. But the person that got me really like hooked on, like, this is who I kind of looked up to, was Heavy D. The reason,
Heavy D.
Yes, the reason being because I was a little fat kid. Yeah, exactly. I was a little fat kid, and he was the overweight lover. So he kind of got me in the mindset of being fat is cool. You know what I'm saying? So don't be ashamed of who you are. Thank you. Don't be ashamed of who you are. Embrace who you are and then live in what you got, you know?
Come on.
So that kind of got me inspired to not be afraid to be in front of people and perform in front of people. Because his big bit was out there dancing, and rest in peace, Heavy. But he was out there dancing and the whole nine. So I was like, if he can do it, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you had our other influences. But the person that really got, like, lyrically kind of put me on track besides LL, because, you know, at the time he was, I'm bad. You know, that was,
sure was.
illest cat. So, but Curtis Blow had the wordplay. He had the stories. You know what I'm saying? He had the finesse. You know, remember in Crush Groove, I ruled the world. He was up there in a tuxedo. You know what I'm saying? And
so, baby. Yeah.
And he, you know, so he kind of just paying attention to the way he moved, the way his wordplay was, the way that Run DMC went back and forth. Me and my brother kind of tried that, but it never worked. That wasn't our thing. And it wasn't West Coast, because you think about it, we had, you know, NWA, even though everybody and their mom at that time was trying to be a gangster rapper. I wanted to be a gangster rapper. This is real talk. You had the influx of gangster rappers. You had on the West Coast. You had an influx of pro-black rappers on the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? And then you had that Southern bubbling that came up when Outkast and them came out.
Right.
And Goody Mob, and then, you know, Trick Daddy, David Bear, all them cats.
That's right, Florida. Yeah.
Florida, Mississippi, Atlanta, Texas, the Scarface Ghetto Boy, man.
Oh.
Come on. So
yes.
So it's like with all that's going on at the same time, the lane that I kind of dug for myself wasn't just the West Coast lane, because I was on the West Coast. The Tribe Called Quest was my brother's favorite group. That was my own brother's favorite group. So of course I was, you know, intrigued and was like, all right, Tribe is, you know, what it is. And then the way that and we kind of set our rap style kind of like them. So he was more of a Q-Tip type and I was more of a Fife type. You know what I'm saying? Kind of our rap styles was, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, of course we put a little gangster in it, but it was more about the content and the lyrics than it was about, you know, we weren't talking about shooting people in the face and all that crap and, you know, be this and be that, you know, whatever. It wasn't none of that. You know what I'm saying? We actually, you know, told stories and we wrote about our experiences, or other people's experience also, because a lot of rappers did that also. It'd be something I'll tell a story, but it wouldn't directly happen to me.
Right.
Something that somebody I know went through, and I'm telling their story for them or whatever. So
Understand.
a whole lot of that. So, like I said, after my brother passed away, I was kind of cool on music. Ended up moving to Virginia for like 9 years. Moved back to California in 2003. My two beautiful girls. So come 07. So that's a long span, 94 to 2007. I was still writing, but I wasn't in a studio. I didn't have anybody doing music for me. I was rapping off the instrumentals pretty much or whatever, but I stayed because even though I didn't want to I had no intention on being a solo artist.
Oh.
Because my thing was my brother, me and him was going to be a group. And then, so I pretty much, when I wrote stuff, I would write one verse and then move on to the next song, write another verse to a different song, move on, because I wasn't writing as a solo artist. So like I said, come 07, I worked in the rental car industry for a long time. So one of my clients was from Canada, and he Adam is his name, and he introduced me to his brother, who was an artist from Canada, and he went by the name at the time was Moto Blizzard. It's Moto House now because he's a house DJ, and he's like world renowned house DJ right now. So introduced me to him, and he was like, "Hey, my brother's a producer." And then he was like, "My boy is a rapper." And we kind of both looked at each other like, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's a rapper. So he invited me to a studio. He put a beat on. He was like, "Yeah, write to this, right? Like, let's see what you got, whatever." And that's when I wrote the original Old Heads, the first verse. And again, I wasn't I never wrote raps more than one verse because, I wrote as a person in a group.
Right.
So wrote one verse or whatever, spit it. He was like, "It's on and popping." And he was like, "You got a second verse for it?" I was like, "I can try." So I kind of wrote like half of one because I'm not used to writing whole songs.
Yes.
It's a dude I worked with at the time named Breezy Boy, young cat. And he told me he rapped. So I'm like, all right, cool. So had him come over to the studio, whatever. He laid down the rest of that rap for Old Heads, and we had a complete song. And it was, from there, it was on and popping. But then the first full-length song I wrote would actually put me in that bubble of a solo artist. And again, just to backtrack a little bit, when the songs I wrote in high school for the talent shows were actually verses from two different songs. I just happened to put them together on a beat, and I was rapping to an instrumental then too.
Okay, gotcha.
So, so then, fast forward back to where we were. So he was like, "Dude," I told him the story about my brother and how I got into music or whatnot. So he was like, "Okay, so where's the song about your brother?" So what do you mean? He was like, "If that's your influence, why haven't you written a song about your brother?" And I was like, So then one day I was waiting on my kids to get out of school. He gave me a CD with some music on it. Song came on or whatever, 30 minutes. I wrote a whole song. That's where the Fast Lane came from. Wrote the whole song or whatever. So we laid that down, dude. It was an emotional moment. Still to this day, even with the version I have now, the updated version of the song is still, you'll see it video. We're going to film the video pretty soon. And it's trying to get my mind wrapped around doing it because it's still hard to do because it's actual real life.
It's real.
Yeah, it's real life situations that happened in my life at that time or whatever, and losing my brothers.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, had that, the whole experience with Moto that went on for like 2 years. But me being a family man at the time, working, music wasn't a priority in my life.
Okay.
So me and him had that conversation. He was like, "Dude, I'm doing this for a living. You're doing this as a hobby." So, we kind of parted ways. Still cool to this day, though. That's my boy. We're still cool to this day. I had to respect what he said and what he was doing because he was right. He was eating off music.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing music as something extra to do at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I understood that. And like I said, we still cool to this day. But he went on and stopped rapping and started doing, DJing, Spain, and all. Man, this dude he's doing so much right now, man. I'm so proud of this cat. But So then, it's other cats that I ran into, like my homeboy Rob Russell was doing his mixtape thing at the time. Got on a couple of joints with him, but again, family first, music second type thing on both our parts. So that kind of on the wayside. So then I kind of was still writing, but not really taking it serious. It's still a passion. It's always been a passion of mine to do music. And my goal has always been for people to hear what I got to say. The same way LL, Purple, people heard what he had to say. He blew up though. I might not blow up. My goal is to blow up. You know what I'm saying? That's the purpose of, with anybody, I'm not doing this to be broke, but at the same time, my passion for the art, my passion for the culture outweighs my hunger for finances. Did that make any sense?
That makes all sense.
Okay. So, like I said, it was still, back and forth with the music situation, whatever. Then, lo and behold, get a call from you. And we had a conversation about your project. It wasn't even had nothing to do with me. Do you remember that?
That's
when Professor Prismatic first came
Professor
out.
Prius, yeah.
Because, being, like, in case nobody know, me and Doc have known each other for years and years.
Years. Yeah.
So I've been following your journey since you first started doing music. You know what I'm saying? And the question came up was like, well, why you never told him you do music? Maybe you could have been on a while. It wasn't, I'm not the type of person to buy somebody coattail. You know what I'm saying? You doing your thing. For me to be like, hey, can I get on the song? I'm not built like that.
I got you.
And granted, it could have been something. I probably shot myself in the foot at the time, but at the same time, it wasn't my time. This is my time right now.
Yeah.
This is my time right now. This is when it's supposed to happen. And I tell people all the time and stuff. That was like, it's just come up, you don't think people gonna look at you? You got that gray in your face. Look at you because of your age. Look at you. Okay, do they look at Rod Stewart? They look at Aerosmith? They look at Paul McCartney? Not just because I'm in hip hop, I got to be limited to my age.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I still got, I can wrap circles around half these cats out right now.
That's right.
You feel me? So
don't
put an age limit. Don't limit me. It's the young man's game. No, it's not. Hip hop is a culture. So as long as you got love for the culture, you relevant in this game.
Well, let me just say, as you all have heard, yes, my favorite band is ATCQ. And Doja is the one who introduced them to me. We'll tell y'all that stuff later. That's you the reason that I know A Tribe Called Quest, So you the reason that I knew so much about, NWA and knew so much about, about the West Coast. So to hear, and we've talked, but each time we talk, I get more details, about you. I didn't know 94 to 07, like in that 13 years, something about that number 13, it's like you were incubating. There was something happening. And then, and I remember, and that was the conversation that you and I had, because we talked about the age thing, because we're both over 40.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm not even worried about it. I said, if Ice Cube can still make an amazing music, which he does. I mean, he's my favorite rapper of all time, Ice Cube.
Yes, sir.
If Rakim could still do it, shoot, Jay-Z can still do it, and I know if Pac and Big were still here, they still be doing it or doing something. And I'm like, no, in my opinion, we just got to wake the old heads up.
There it is.
So
Curtis Blow is in his 60s still going around touring and doing music.
Still touring, making money.
I'm going to tell you like this. Huh?
Big Daddy came. I sat on a plane. Big Daddy came more than 7 years ago. He was coming back to Durham to do a show.
There you go.
What?
Because his people is from North Carolina.
That's right.
And his people from North Carolina.
That's right.
So, but my thing is just like, for instance, earlier I was watching a video from Jimmy Kimmel. Janet Jackson's releasing a new album and doing a new tour.
New tour? Sure.
Why I can't put out an album? Why I can't put out an album? Why I can't do tours? And then the part that really gets me is that when people hear my music, they say a new artist, up and coming, or I'm not up and coming, homie. I've been doing this since the 90s. I'm not up and coming just because you ain't heard about me. You ain't from where I'm from, so of course you didn't hear about me. You know what I'm saying?
That's what you're saying.
That's why I make reference in some of my songs about me being an OG, about me being a vet in the game, because I've seen where it came from, where it started, and I see where it's at right now. It ain't nothing nobody can tell me about hip hop that I don't know. I may not know the artists, everybody lined up in the artist who came out in 2003 or whatever. I might not know that, but I can tell you exactly when the game started changing. I can tell you when they started flipping up their styles to stay relevant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
That's one thing that Kane, LL, none of them cats did that. None of them changed who they were. They may have, flows may have, changed a little, but they've never changed who they were or tried to be who they weren't in order to stay relevant.
You're right.
You see what I'm saying?
Rakim didn't. You're right.
Exactly. Granted, they may not be selling, but think about it. The industry ain't about record sales no more.
Nope.
It's not about record sales no more. So what's the point of making an album to put in a store and then do all this promotion? Oh, it's in Sam Goody, which don't exist no more. It's in Circuit City, which don't exist no more. But it's like, but everything is coming full circle. If you notice, when you go to a store now, you go to Target, they got vinyl in Target now.
Yeah, they do.
Everything's coming full circle. But the difference in the way that the industry used to be and the way that it is now is everything is based on your content online. So it would make more sense for you to do an album and put it out streaming than it would for you to put out an album and sit on a record show or a record store show.
Facts.
Granted, how many record stores have you seen?
Oh, man, I haven't seen more than, wait a minute. I'm in New Haven. I haven't seen 2.
Exactly.
Oh, I've seen 1.
A handful. And most of them are selling old music. They're not selling current music. They do have their section of current music, but you can get a 12-inch of Straight Outta Compton for $15 on vinyl. Or you can get J. Cole's latest album on vinyl for $32. Which one you gonna buy? When I can stream J. Cole on Spotify for $15 a month. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a family, a whole bunch of us listening. So you see what I'm saying? Stream that for fit, and then I have it at my radio. I can, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got to worry about it breaking. I ain't got to worry about scratching it. I ain't got to preserve it. You know what I'm saying? All it's got to do is have something to listen to it on.
Yeah.
You know, and then we're in the era of YouTube streaming. MP3 era ain't even popping no more. Remember, like 10 years ago.
You're right.
It was MP3s.
That's it. That was your Napsters and all of them when they kind of took that over. Yeah.
Digital download. Now it's streaming. Digital download it exists, but who downloads music anymore? You have apps where you can listen to the music at the push of a button.
You're right. You know Hope y'all listening, everybody.
So the industry is different now, and I'm okay with that. But at the same time, there's room in hip hop for all of us. We have an audience. You know what I'm saying? Just like the younger cats have an audience. Just like LL and them got an audience. Everybody has an audience. So, but we have to just make sure that our audience is getting our content and are getting our music so they have something to listen to. They have something, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
That's what I'm on right now, man.
Wow.
And mumble rap is a disease. I'm going to say that live right now. Mumble rap is a disease. I hate mumble rap almost as much as I hate skinny jeans, but I'm putting it out there. I'm saying though. And again, everybody's not it's a difference between people who actually, because the auto-tune thing is getting out of hand also. But it's a difference between cats that that's lyrical or even good performance, because there's so many ghostwriters out there, it's ridiculous.
Right.
But it's a difference between somebody who's actually, using their voice to spitting bars or where granted they have auto-tune over thinking, but if you can still hear what they're saying, they're talking about. That's what I'm talking about. All you hear is all you can hear the rhythm, you can hear the beat, you don't hear nothing they saying. They're not talking about nothing.
True.
I'm just like, that irritates and these are the cats that's blowing up online. These are the cats these little kids is listening to and chanting all these songs around school dances and school functions and stuff and getting hit by cars because they on their phone, you know what I'm saying? But it's and I'm like, oh, have you heard of Little Somebody or Young Voodoo? I'm like, no, none of them cats. Son played somebody I can't remember the name of this cat. He played somebody and someone his friends at school told him about. He played the music. I'm like, what is he talking about? I don't know, but listen to the beat. I'm like, so put out an instrumental then. Put out an instrumental. Let the producer get his shine, because this little whoop-de-whoop and he ain't even saying. All you can hear is that he's using auto-tunes and something's coming out of his mouth. You can't identify nothing he's saying.
Oh, man.
And it hurts my soul. But again, He's making his money. I'm never gonna hate on nobody shine. You doing you, this is what you feel. But then they interview these cats and they turn around and say, I don't even like hip hop music. I'm doing it because I'm making money.
I see what you're saying. I see.
You mentioned All the Smoke earlier. That's the purpose of that song. That's for them. That's
for them.
Say.
Yes. You okay? Yeah. You definitely bringing the smoke on the record. I was like, I guess we had to have a gangster record. I listened to it. I was like, oh, we about to get into some people now.
And if you listen to the song itself or whatever, and I can't wait for everybody else to hear it, but listen to the song itself. How it started off, what the business is, youngin. You know what I'm saying? Like what's up?
Yeah.
But it's just like it's getting. But then at the same time, you have your Dreamvilles and your Kendricks and your J. Cole, even though he runs with J. Cole, you have your Schoolboy Q's, and I even get Tyler maybe, his music may be way out there, but that boy he can spit.
Yes, I agree.
Can spit. So it's a lot of music that is in this generation these young cats are putting out. And who is it? Cordez, YBN
Corday. I like him.
That dude can spit.
I like him. Yes.
And then there's female rappers, like I said, J. Jig Cicero. I tipped you to her. She's from Ohio or Cleveland. She can spit.
She's ill.
Maria Martinez, another chick. I don't know where she's from, but she can spit.
Yeah.
And London B, who won that Netflix rap show. You see what I'm saying? You have artists now that's relevant, but it's like they're being overshadowed by all this mess because the mess was going on longer than they were able to come up and shine. But they're starting to put holes in that dark ass cloud called mumble rap and starting to bring that real hip hop out. But at the same time, it's still room for the rest of us, man.
Let me ask you. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I like how you said there's still room for the rest of us. I came into hip hop, basically, late, well, in the 80s, actually, in the early 80s. And then I was, like I said, exposed, to ATCQ early 90s. And then I've been on a whole different path ever since then. I noticed that there is a certain kind of hip hop that I like, and it is about lyrics. It's about having a good time. It doesn't always got to be about knowledge, even though I noticed that I go more towards that still. That's why I fell in love with Goody Mob. That's why I fell in love with Tribe, De La Soul. That's why I fell in love with Ice Cube.
Yeah.
And that's why I love J. Cole, TDE today, because I feel like Rock and Q and Kendrick, Ab-Soul, like I feel like they bring knowledge into these other messages, whether we're talking about weed or whatever, but there's always a nugget of wisdom in there. I can just tell you, there's always something like I listen to it long enough and I'm like, oh, he just taught me something, Do you think that hip hop should only be about educating people or touching folks? Because I don't really feel that, I don't think that mumble rap does that. I don't, but don't get me wrong, I listen to certain people, I check out, Lil Uzi Vert, like ever so often, so I can stay up on what's going on. I definitely got respect for Drake for the success that he's been able to establish, But do you think that it should only be about educating or, I guess, connecting?
Well, no, because if you think about it, hip hop started as party music. Now, on the East Coast, when they was doing hip hop, it was about the DJ when it first started out. But when MCs started coming about, they were just talking about why they the best. Why my borough is the best, why my block is the best, why my apartment complex is the best. It wasn't about being, telling a story about stuff that's going on. It led up to that, and that's a part of hip hop as we know it. But hip hop is, as a culture is it was used to get cats off the street, give you another option than being a drug dealer or a gangbanger. You know what I'm saying? Even though a lot of the music people hear, and they think that's all they hear is a gang banging and drug dealers and this, that is all you hear. But you know what I'm saying? Like when you listen to Ice Cube, like the song Gangsta Gangsta, that song wasn't about necessarily him. That's stuff that actually happened in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And they were shining light on so the world can hear exactly what you see. Because when stuff happened in LA, it was localized to LA unless it affected the outskirts of LA. If it was just a neighborhood shooting, we were the only ones who knew about it. If there was a neighborhood house getting burnt down, we was the only ones who knew about it. But when it put on a global scale, now everybody's paying attention because this group is talking about what's going on in Compton. This group is talking about what's going on in Palm Beach. You see what I'm saying? Because Compton NWA, when NWA came out, Compton was the word. That's what every time I went to Alabama or North Carolina, whatever, where you from California, you know where Compton is? You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted you know, or Lynwood right down the street from down the street from Compton. You know Dr. Dre? Do you know Snoop Dogg? You know, from Long Beach? And I'm like, okay, that's not all California. If you come, you've been out here before, man.
Right. For sure.
Just like I said, the old head video, man. I made it a point to shine a light on the positive stuff that goes in California. Venice Beach is one of the most beautiful spots you can go to in California. Because we got the culture, we got the graffiti. You know what I'm saying? We got the cats out there balling on the weekly. There's cats out there wilding out too. But you got a mixture of everything that is California in that one spot.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But again, me venturing out of California, living outside of California for a time, visiting way more spots on the East Coast than I did on the West Coast. I see that hip hop has a hold on a whole lot of the culture that is, us, as Black folks, because you have soul food restaurants. Goody Mob dropped the album called Soul Food, and their music was for your soul. If you listen to that album, I'm telling you, that's that album I can listen to from beginning to end, know pretty much word for word. And you feel better when you listen to that album.
Yeah, you're right.
Just like I'm saying with Tribe. Tribe's first album is a classic. Their second album, Low End Theory.
Low End Theory.
That album makes you feel good. You see what I'm saying? Hip hop is feel good music. Now, granted, when you're in a place where you just frustrated or whatever, hip hop can put you in a mood where you could just yell your frustrations out and just get rah, but then afterwards you feel good. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Hip hop, you feeling sad or whatever, you can listen to some, Troy from P Rock and CL Smooth.
Oh, they reminisce over you.
Yeah.
Yes.
That song or whatever, it's a sad song. And it puts you in a certain type of mood, but you feel better at the end of the song.
It's true.
You see what I'm saying? That's because that's what music and the whole does to you. But hip hop has a special place in us because it's our people. Even though it's ventured out, you know what I'm saying? We got Eminem's and it's this Asian cat that's fire too. I cannot think of his name.
Okay.
But you have, it's spread out around the world, so it's not just isolated to the States.
Yep.
And it's bigger in other countries. It's in Japan and in Europe.
Yes.
Russia. I didn't know Russia had a hip hop community.
Oh, they got one of the best top worldwide known freestylers right now out of Russia. Yep.
So, and Africa has a big hip hop community too.
Yeah, they do.
So you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, people use it for what they use it for. A lot of people used it to get their message out about what was going on in our community, as well as NWA did. They just went about it a different way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 50 Cent, he told what was going on in his neighborhood and stuff. He just did it in the way that he felt, he needed to do it. Everybody. Little Kim even though with the music she put out, if you paid attention to what she was saying,
yep.
Some of her songs was a cry for help. Other one of her songs was women empowerment. But all you heard was her talking about sex and her talking about, you know what I'm saying? That's all people listened to. That's all they heard.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
there was more to it.
Only love, man. Come on, man. I can go down a list of all these people who actually had an impact in not only the hip hop culture, but in Black culture. If you want to go there, just in Black culture in general, it's music as a whole is something that keeps people together or can tear people apart. It's life.
Yeah.
It depends on how you want to carry it and how you want to take care of it, man. And like me, hip hop is my baby, homie. Every down. If you ain't for the culture, homie, if you ain't for the culture, I say it in what's it called it too, and all the smoke. If you ain't repping for the culture, you're a cancer to this bitch, and it's my responsibility to cut you out. You feel me? I mean that. It's man. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's because it's hip hop got me through losing my brother. The music I was listening to at the time, which was Tribe, which was, you know, Wu-Tang was out at the time. Outkast had that was a major help in my life at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scoop had came out at the time or whatever. So it was right after the Chronic drop. And that was the album me and my brother used to rock that all the time in the car. Chronic, man. So those, it's like hip hop was pretty much a blanket for me to deal with what I was going through at the time.
Yes.
And the older I got, like I said, people grieve in different ways when it comes to death.
Okay.
So with the opportunity I got from you, I was able to get my feelings of frustration and my emotions out of my chest on a paper and record it. You see what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
And then in going over my music and stuff, you know, because we're about to have another studio session. So going over the music and stuff, most of the music I write is a story.
Yeah. Sure
you know, and then if you think about it too, I was thinking about this the other day. When hip hop people first started rapping, people were doing 3-verse songs, 18 bars or more.
Yes, they were. Jeez.
But the song was still only like 3-4 minutes long.
Right.
So they was doing all that rapping. You know? And so I'm thinking about it, I'm like, man, if you think about music right now, it's very few people that have songs that's more than 16 bars a verse.
Yeah.
Or more than 2 verses a song. Because most songs are no longer than 3 minutes.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've heard songs, like I was listening to Bob Gun, Ice Cube album the other day, and Bob Gun came on. That song's 11 minutes long.
Sure is. Did he do it with George Clinton?
Yeah, but he only got 3 verses in the song. No, 4. I'm sorry, it's 4 verses because it's the first 2, then it's that long part with George Clinton doing his thing, and then he got 2 verses at the end.
That's right.
But the song is 11 minutes long.
Yes.
And if you think about it, 6 in the Morning by Ice-T was 6 minutes long.
Sure was.
And that was 5 verses, 4 or 5 verses. I want to say it's 5.
Get Up, Get Out of Outkast was 7 minutes long.
There you go. But you see, they had Outkast and pretty much Outkast, all of Goody Mob, but just
it was just Outkast and 2 members, CeeLo and Big Gil. So but 4 verses.
All of them had, I think, in each verse was either 16 or 18 bars.
It was.
It was 4 people rapping, so that's four verses.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So, thinking about, like, it depends on the artist. Like Too Short, Freaky Tales was 10 minutes long.
Sure was. Classic.
I swear he had like 38 bars per verse, bro. That was
so long. That man was so long.
But they'll say it's a classic. It's a classic.
Still to this day.
Classic. But you know what I'm saying? But that's just, you know, but like I said, my biggest thing in music right now is that it's a whole lot of ghostwriters that's not getting the shine that they should be. They're putting these artists on, making these people millionaires, and don't nobody know that they're not writing. Because I just found out that you can pay an artist to write music for you, and legally not tell nobody you wrote it for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just blown away. And that's why, you know what I'm saying, I would love to do Sway in the Morning.
Okay.
I would love to do the show, but I'm not a freestyle artist.
No. Well, you know, if you think about it, a lot of those folks aren't either, though, because, you know, there's a difference between freestyle and off the top of the head now.
Okay.
Now, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Supernatural, to me, that's freestyle. I put Black Thought, freestyle. But what I also know is that what people do now is they get lines together and just have them. You know, it's just something that I can call on. Okay. And to me, honestly, that's not freestyling, you know, but, you know, I mean, I'm gonna say, in my opinion, that's not freestyling. In my opinion, that's not off the head. But I understand now, you know, why people do it. I don't do that. That's why I respect Supernatural. You know, I respect him that he still does his thing. That's why I respect people like Black Thought. I respect people who can come off the head and make a cohesive a set of lines and bars and do it for 1 minute. I can freestyle for like 7 to 10 and not repeat themselves. But now people write things down and you don't know that it's not a freestyle. Yeah. So
that's my only thing though, because I mean he be up there looking for the hyenas. I can rap my ass off, but I need some time to think about what I'm about to say. You feel me? Y'all no beat expect me to spit off the head. Granted, that's a part of the hip hop, part of the culture, but it's not a part of Mista Doesha. I'm just saying. I'm not a freestyle artist by any means, shape, form, or fashion, brother. I would like to a hot 16 in a heartbeat. You're gonna have to give me a minute. You feel me? Let me get it together.
But see, what I appreciate though, you're a student of hip hop, obviously. You are, but now you're becoming you would say in academic, you're becoming like a purveyor, like you're now becoming a creator within hip hop. You're becoming, like a voice in it too, by the fact that you are creating and putting different content or new content out there. And so what, and even though I know it's going to change over time, but like, what is it you would like for people to understand about Doja?
Well, first and foremost, that I'm about my business. I'm not in this for the hype. You know what I'm saying? I do this because I love the art. I love the culture. I love doing music. I love being creative. You know what I'm saying? And I need people to know that this is me. Like the post I put up the other day, my older brother, the realest thing he's ever told me was never let nobody stop you from being you. Always be who you are. And I am Mista Doja, plain and simple. So this is me. You know what I'm saying? You get the, my family gets the husband, the father, the man, the provider. But when it comes to this hip hop stuff or whatever, Mista Doja is you, you're gonna get 110%. I always show Mista Doja when it comes to doing this music stuff. You feel me? Okay. So, that's why when anytime I go to the studio, I'm always prepared. Give me an 8-hour session, we can knock out 8 songs, a song an hour. If you ready, I'm ready. Because you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna be there on time. My studio session starts at 11 o'clock. I'm there at 10. That's just how I get down. My work ethic, man. That's how I get down. So I'm sitting there waiting on the engineer to show up. You know what I'm saying? I wait on the to show up. Because I'm about my business. I'm like that with everything that I do. I would rather be early and take time to make sure that I'm ready before things get started than to show up late and not be prepared.
Okay.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
manhood, y'all. I like that. That's adulthood right there. That's grown man talk. Yes, understand? Yes, y'all will know later why I said that right there, but I'll say that for later.
With shows and stuff, my video shoots and all that, I'm always the first person there and last person to leave. I want to make sure everything is where it's supposed to be. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, getting what they're supposed to get. That's that's how I'm built. That's how I'm built. And it, so I live my life like that. Not just in this music stuff. My life is lived like that.
That's it. Well, then let's talk about this. Let's talk about this Deansters project for a couple minutes, because I'm proud to say that we got a release date now, February 29th. We're gonna do it on a leap year day. We're gonna let people know we're gonna close out Black History Month and surprise them every year.
I can't wait for
we got, and you're on. I mean, it's about an 18-song record, so it's a little over an hour long. And we got you, Joe T, the producer. Myself on Black Print, which you totally smashed. And y'all, and when y'all hear it, trust me, it's on a whole different level. And you get to hear Joe T. And then you got All the Smoke.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you for coming into the Dean's List, because it started out one way, which was just all like college people, if you will. But we understand that life is not just college, and everybody ain't meant for college, you know what I'm saying? And so I wanted to make sure that we had some, another, like type of realness, like with us. And that's why I reached out, because I remember your bars, from back in the day. And I was like, I think we could use some classic bars in this way, a classic MC in this way in this crew. And to me, after we got you, that really closed us out. It was like, oh, that's it. Like that's it. Like we don't need nothing else. Like that was the missing link right there, which was you. So I want to thank you for joining up, like with us. Can you tell us a little bit about how you feel, knowing that this record's coming out and you got your own song on there, because other people do not, and then you got a song with Joe T. How does that feel? And like I said, All the Smoke that's real. That's one of the realest songs on there.
I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm excited, man. Like when we had everything was completed and you let me know that it was done and, you sent me the album cover and everything and the track list, I was like, oh yeah, this is official. Because again, like I said, I've been in the game for so long, but I've never been at this point.
Mm-hmm.
When Old Heads came out last year, that was the first album I've ever put out.
Wow.
That was a single. It was the first single. When I did the video, it was the first video I've ever done.
Mm.
There have been in people videos, but first one out, you know what I'm saying? So now this right here is the first album, full-length album that I'm on. So I'm just like, I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped, man. I want to thank you, bro, because you blessed me with this opportunity to get myself out there, bro. So, man, come on now. Like I said, it's easily runs to the casket drop, bro. So ain't nobody tell me nothing.
Oh, man. No, thank you, Lynwood's finest. Man. Oh man, well.
Oh, let me say this.
What's up? Yes, sir. Oh, you good?
And I want to thank you for introducing me to Joe T.
I was actually about to go there. Go ahead.
Okay, because the first song that I did with Joe T was actually The Real, which he released last year. And he sent the track to me, and it's funny because my wife still she has little comments about the beat because the way it starts. It's a long story. We talk about that. But I mean, not the beat is hard. So, but anyway, he sent me the hook and his verse, and he asked me, to write, because originally the whole song was his. He said, I would appreciate you if you could put a verse on here for me. So I was like, all right. He was like, and if you see something that needs to be changed in the hook, can you change it? So I ended up taking what he had and used what I had and changed the hook to what it is now. And then,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that original hook wasn't that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, that I rewrote. I used, because it was 4 bars. So I took what he was saying and the content he was in and just revamped it some.
Okay.
Kind of let it flow because, remember, because Joe T done stepped his game up to
big time.
From when we first, so he was still on down on that level with that. So, we did that and adjusted it. And then his verse comes out, then I did mine. And ever since then, I think the only other person's music I've rapped on was DJ Green for All the Smoke.
All the Smoke, okay.
My whole album is produced by Joe T.
Joe T, the producer, y'all.
Joe T, the super producer. You need to change his name.
I know the feeling, because my last album was all produced by Joe T.
He's a monster, man. That dude's game is man. And like I said, and like I said, with the relationship that I have with you, me and Joe T kind of built a similar type relationship. Whereas we don't just talk about music when we talk. We actually have conversations, check in on each other, make sure everybody good, this, that, and the other. So it's more of a family type thing than just producer artist, with Joe. Now,
yes,
so it's like I can call him. Like I hit him up the other day. It was like, hey, I'm working on something different. I need some fire from you. He was like, all right, I got you. Give me a couple of days. He hit me with something last night, and I was like, I could use this, but not for this song. And he was like, all right, just give me a minute, whatever. And this is not the first time we've had those type of conversations. Then when he hit me with like the song, I got a song on the album called High Fire on my album. When he shot that one to me, that was one of the ones I was like, yeah, I can use that song for something else, but I need a different beat. And he shot me that one. I was, the song is, you a fool for this one. It's the first thing I said that live in the studio, because that beat, every time I hear it, I swear my eyes close and my head start nodding. Oh my God, that beat is just like, and I just went off on that too. But that's what I'm saying. That's the kind of producer he is. He, just like with Fastlane. So again, Fastlane is dedicated to my brother. It's a story about my brother. And the original one that song that or music that was produced by Moto, was emotional. You know what I'm saying? And then his, putting in the stuff he put in or whatever was real emotional. I actually have another partner of mine, Mike Senior. He helped me do another one. He made a beat from scratch or whatever, and we built on that. But the song was more of an upbeat type song than what I was kind of looking for. Even though the song is tight, it still came out tight. The song's still nice. The beat is still hard, but it wasn't. So I asked Joe T. I said, man, I need you. I let him listen to the original version. I said, I need a beat to go with this, to do this song dedicated to my brother. It's personal to me. And Joe's words was, well, since it's personal to you, it's personal to me. I got you. It took this man 2 months to come up with a perfect beat.
2 months.
2 months. He took his time. He granted doing his family thing and other music. We worked on other music in the midst of it. But that beat that I had for that song, he took his time and made it personal to him because it was personal to me. And then when we got, like I said, when we did that song in the booth, man, the engineer was like, while you was in the booth rapping, I texted my brother to check on him.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? And it's just an emotional song. And I want everybody to feel it the way that I feel it and the way that the people that's heard it already feel it. You know what I'm saying? That's my goal with that. It's not for y'all to feel sorry for me. It's just for me to tell my story, and y'all see the reason why I do what I do is because of that man right there.
Wow.
Plain and simple.
Plain and simple. Well, as we bring it to a close, my guy, I'm proud of you. I want to say I got to thank you because you said yes. You didn't even have to give. You said I gave you a chance. No, actually, you gave me a chance. You gave me a chance to do what I've been trying to do since I've been in the game, is to show people that age don't matter when it comes to arts and skills. It matters in other ways, ladies and gentlemen, but we ain't talking about that. But when it comes to arts and skills, it doesn't matter, because the Most High gave us these gifts, and it's time for us to use it. And I also appreciate that you came in and you were you. You were you, and to me, like, that's all the things this is about. It's about people being who they are. I remember like you're talking, you're like, hey man, I'm gonna be cussing some and blah blah blah. I was like, cool. You're like, for real? I'm like, yeah. It's not like we don't say shit when we not on the mic. It's not like people don't cuss when they, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's just that when people put it on the mic, then it's like, uh-oh. But but no, I mean, I want people to hear us. I want people to hear you, because I know you got a story to tell, and I also know that you also have a path that you're still making. You still got trails that you're blazing, and so I thank you for saying yes. And every time I hear something that you're saying or what Joe T saying, I'm just like, man, they cooking up so much fire there on the West Coast, But now I will say this about the West Coast. And I hope that you'll agree, but then, I don't know. I've always thought that the West Coast was actually years ahead when it came to music making, in particular with hip hop. I mean, yes, I'm always gonna love East Coast, and I'm always gonna love down South because I'm from there, So I love Rakim, I love the Roots, I love Dungeon Family, I love Clips, Timberland stuff too, But when I listen to my favorite group that shifted me after A Tribe Called Quest, Souls and Mystery. When I heard lyrics, I was like, what is this? Like, what? Like, huh? Like, and I hear production now that sounds like A+, that sounds like Del the Funky Homo Sapien, that sounds like Casual now. And I'm like, those brothers in particular were way ahead of their time. And then I think about your Too Shorts, and then your E40s, and I'm like, pioneers. And, and then I can keep going with a Cam. When I talk about real militant, people say Public Enemy. I'm like, y'all forgot about Cam. Like, this man he was crushing it. Like, y'all forgot Paris. Y'all forgetting stuff.
And a lot of people Paris is from the West.
That's what I'm saying. You see, so that's what I'm saying. Like, the West has always been eons ahead. I don't know if it's because y'all are so far from the East where a lot of crap started. Because I think just going from thinking about Paris and then thinking about oh man, I'm sorry, it just left my, oh crap, I was just about to say another group, and I apologize that it just left me. But I always felt like the West. Oh no, I got it. It wasn't about hip hop where I was getting ready to go. It was actually about social movements. You know, Black Panther started out there. You know, the Black nationalist movement started there, and I go, wow, there's so much brilliance in what Bobby Seale, Huey Newton was doing. You know, like just knowing that those kind of things happened out west, knowing that the Crips and the Bloods were founded out there. You know, I mean, here you had people. I know that it's evolved and it's evolved into some other things, but it started out so positive. It was about protecting the community, defending against cops. You know, so I also want to say thank you because to me, that's what you represent. You represent pioneering. You represent, you know, people looking at one thing and going, like you said, I can do that. And then when you do it, it's like, but I can't do that.
Yeah.
And so that's what I really love about having you, you know, like now, you know, with us and yeah, man, you gonna keep shining because we not stopping. Everybody, I'm letting y'all know right now. Dean's List, Great Minds Alliance, dropping February 29th, 2020. We not playing and we're not taking prisoners.
Okay.
We ain't taking no prisoners. We're not even taking vacationers. If you listen to us and you don't like it, then you just a hostage to goodness, whatever. But if you like it, then you can be a beacon of greatness because that's all that we bring. And so before we close, I just want to ask you, man, you got any final comments, you know, that you like to bless the people with?
Man, just keep your eyes and ears to the ground and see what the Dean's List is about to do. See what Easley Branch is about to do, man. It's about to be amazing. Y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna see, man. We about to blow up. We about to blow up.
We. How can they find you, Doja?
You can find me on my Facebook, Mista Doesha, Instagram, Twitter. I even started TikTok, bro.
I know that. Good job.
Yo, that right there, dude, is just it's crazy though. But you can do so much with that little app. But anyway, MistaDoja.net is my website. Check out the Old Heads video on YouTube.
Yes.
Doja page there.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my brother Dragon Wolf have a podcast out now. My brother. And we just dropped our second episode last week, and episode 3 is coming out this week.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay.
Everybody, this is my brother here. As time goes on, you'll learn more. I'm so proud to have you to be making music with you. Matter of fact, we actually have a song together, y'all. You hear it? It's coming out later in this year because it's on my record. And then things gonna work out. We're gonna give y'all a Mr. Doctor record, you know, so y'all can really hear what old heads together sound like. So y'all can really, matter of fact, you know what? Technically, Black Print is an old head song. We just don't sound old, but we're all old heads on that song. And that's on Dean's List, y'all. That's on the Dean's List. And yeah, oh my goodness, yeah, we did do that. We did do that.
We did.
Man. But Doja, look, man, I love you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And we're gonna do this again, my brother.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. This is amazing, bro.
All right.
Amazing.
Okay, well, hey, y'all, this is Rashad Ease, Doc East signing off. Mr. Doja.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.